In the heart of Elder Grove, where the gentle whisper of the wind dances with the soft lapping of water against the shore, a question lingers in the air. When was the last time you truly took a moment to breathe, to simply be? As twilight descends, casting a warm glow over the landscape, a bridge arches gracefully over the calm waters of the lake, a silent witness to countless stories and reflections. Elena Hawthorne stood at the edge of the lake, her heart heavy with the weight of the world. A librarian by trade, she spent her days surrounded by stories, yet felt as though her own had become lost among the pages of others. At 38, she had seen the world rush by, a blur of deadlines and obligations, and now she craved the stillness that only nature could provide. The air was crisp, filled with the earthy scent of damp soil and wildflowers, yet it was a bittersweet reminder of the peace she yearned for. The bridge, with its worn wooden planks and time-worn railings, beckoned to her. It was a simple structure, yet it held an indescribable charm, framed by lush greenery and the soft caress of wildflowers that swayed gently in the breeze. As she approached, she could hear the faint rustle of leaves and the distant call of birds settling in for the night. The sun dipped lower in the sky, casting hues of lavender and peach across the horizon, painting the lake in shimmering colors. Elena leaned against the railing, her fingers brushing against the cool wood, grounding herself in this moment. She closed her eyes, allowing the sounds of nature to wash over her. The gentle lap of the water against the shore was a soothing lullaby, a stark contrast to the cacophony of her daily life. Yet, as she stood there, she felt a familiar pang of anxiety tighten within her chest. The responsibilities of her life loomed large, the emails waiting to be answered, the tasks left undone. It was as though they were shadows following her, refusing to let her escape into the tranquility of the evening. Just then, a soft voice broke the spell of her solitude. "Beautiful evening, isn't it?" It was Oliver Reed, the local artist, known for his serene paintings of the very landscapes surrounding them. He was seated on a blanket nearby, brushes and paints scattered around him, his canvas capturing the essence of the sunset in vibrant strokes. Elena turned to him, her lips curving into a small smile, grateful for his presence.
"It truly is," she replied, her voice barely above a whisper. "But I find it hard to appreciate it sometimes." Oliver nodded, understanding shining in his eyes. "Life has a way of pulling us in different directions," he said, his tone gentle. "But here, in this moment, you can find a little bit of peace. What weighs on your mind?" As she looked into his warm gaze, Elena felt a flicker of hope. Perhaps this was the moment she needed, a chance to share the burdens that felt too heavy to carry alone. "I often feel overwhelmed by everything. Work, life. It's like I'm always chasing something, yet I don't know what it is," she admitted, her voice trembling slightly. Oliver listened intently, his expression calm and inviting. "It's easy to lose ourselves in the chaos," he replied. "But sometimes all it takes is a moment on a bridge, a breath of fresh air, to help us remember what truly matters." With those words, the tension in Elena's shoulders began to ease. She watched as the last rays of sunlight danced upon the surface of the lake, creating a pathway of shimmering gold. In that moment, she felt a connection not only to the landscape, but also to herself, a reminder that within the chaos, there existed a sanctuary of stillness. As the sky transformed into a canvas of twilight, a sense of calm enveloped them. The sounds of nature, the gentle rustling of leaves, the soft croaking of frogs, and the distant chirping of crickets created a symphony of tranquility. Elena took a deep breath, letting the cool air fill her lungs, feeling the worries of her day begin to drift away like clouds across the sky. Here, on the bridge over the lake, she was reminded of the simple joys that life had to offer. In the presence of Oliver, she found solace, a moment to pause and reflect, and for the first time in a long while, she felt the stirrings of hope. The bridge, with its steady support beneath her, became a symbol of her journey, a path leading her toward the peace she so desperately sought. As the stars began to twinkle overhead, Elena knew that this was just the beginning. The bridge would be her refuge, a place to reconnect with herself and the world around her. And with each visit, she would learn to let go of the burdens that weighed her down, embracing the gentle beauty of life and the promise of restful nights. Now, as you listen to the soft sounds of the evening, take a moment to breathe deeply. Let the worries of the day fade away and allow the tranquility of the bridge over the lake to wash over you. In the stillness, may you find peace, just as Elena did, and may your thoughts gently drift into the embrace of restful dreams. As the sun dipped lower, the colors of the sky deepened into a soothing palette of lavender and gold. The air was infused with the fresh, earthy scent of the lake, mingling with the sweet fragrance of wildflowers that danced softly in the gentle breeze. Elena Hawthorne leaned against the cool wooden railing of the bridge, her gaze lost in the shimmering reflections on the water's surface. Each ripple seemed to whisper secrets of the past, beckoning her to remember simpler times. She closed her eyes, allowing her thoughts to drift back to her childhood, when life was marked by the carefree laughter shared with her grandmother. They would spend hours by the lake, her grandmother's voice like a warm blanket wrapping around Elena as she recounted stories of the stars and the magic of nature. "Always take a moment to breathe," her grandmother had advised, "for in that stillness you will find the strength to face anything." But now, those moments felt like distant memories, overshadowed by the frantic pace of her daily life. The constant buzz of notifications from her phone pulled her attention away, the weight of emails and responsibilities pressing against her mind. She sighed, feeling the familiar pang of anxiety creeping in. How could she reconnect with that sense of peace when the world demanded so much of her? Just then, a soft rustle of leaves broke her reverie. She turned her head to see Oliver Reed, the local artist, setting up his easel a few paces away. He was a familiar figure in Eldergrove, often found painting the very landscapes she held dear. Today he seemed lost in his own world, brush gliding across the canvas, capturing the beauty of the moment. Elena watched him for a moment, the way his brow furrowed in concentration, the gentle strokes of his brush mirroring the tranquility that enveloped the lake. With a deep breath, she decided to approach him. Perhaps a conversation with Oliver would help ease the turmoil in her mind. "Good evening, Oliver," she said softly, her voice barely above a whisper, as she stepped closer, the wooden bridge creaking beneath her feet. He turned to her, his eyes brightening. "Elena, what a lovely evening it is, isn't it?" His warm smile felt like a beacon in the dimming light.
"It truly is," she replied, leaning against the railing beside him. "I often find myself here when I need to think. But today," she hesitated, unsure of how to articulate the weight she felt. "Today, I feel lost among the noise." Oliver nodded knowingly, his gaze drifting back to the water. "It's easy to get caught up in the chaos of life. I feel it too sometimes. But the lake has a way of reminding us to slow down. What's been on your mind?" Elena took a deep breath, feeling the cool breeze brush against her skin, as if nature itself was encouraging her to share. "I've been overwhelmed, you know? Work, responsibilities, it all feels so heavy. I long for the simple joys, like when I was a child." She paused, her voice trembling slightly. "I just want to find that peace again." Oliver turned towards her, his expression softening. "Those memories are precious, aren't they? It's in our nature to seek comfort in the past. But perhaps we can create new memories right here. The lake, the bridge, they are constants. They can anchor us if we let them." Elena felt a small flicker of hope at his words. "You're right. I need to learn how to be present, to disconnect from the distractions that pull me away from this beauty." Oliver dipped his brush into a palette of soft blues and greens, his movements fluid and deliberate. Why not take a moment right now? Close your eyes and listen. Let the sounds of the lake wash over you. The water, the wind, they hold wisdom. Taking his advice, Elena closed her eyes, focusing on the symphony of nature around her. The gentle lapping of the waves against the shore created a rhythmic melody, harmonizing with the distant call of a loon echoing across the lake. She could feel the coolness of the evening air wrap around her like a gentle hug, coaxing her to release her worries. In that moment, she felt the tightness in her chest begin to ease. The world around her faded, and she began to remember the essence of her grandmother's teachings: to embrace stillness, to find beauty in the ordinary. "Thank you, Oliver," she whispered, opening her eyes once more. "I needed this." He smiled, a knowing look in his eyes. "Nature has a way of healing us. Remember, it's okay to take a step back. You're not alone in this journey." Elena felt a warmth spread through her chest, gratitude for Oliver's kindness washing over her. "I often forget that," she admitted. "The pressures of life can feel isolating." With a gentle nod, he continued to paint, the strokes on his canvas transforming into a vibrant reflection of the sunset. The colors danced together, each hue blending seamlessly into the next, much like the way her thoughts began to settle. As she watched him work, a thought struck her. "You know, I've always admired how you capture the beauty of this place. It must bring you peace to create art like this." "It does," he replied, glancing up at her. "Each stroke is a reminder of the beauty that exists, even amidst chaos. I often find solace here, just like you." Elena felt a connection blossoming between them, as if the very essence of the lake was weaving their stories together. "Maybe I should try to paint again," she mused, recalling the easel tucked away in her attic, gathering dust. "It's been years since I picked up a brush." "Why not start right here?" Oliver suggested, his eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. "Bring your easel next time and let the lake inspire you. You might find that it helps you connect with those childhood memories again." The idea filled her with a sense of excitement and trepidation. "I haven't painted in so long. What if I'm not good enough anymore?" "Art isn't about perfection, it's about expression," he replied gently. "Every stroke is a part of your journey. Just let go and allow yourself to create." Elena nodded, feeling the weight of her doubts begin to lift. "I'll think about it," she promised, a small smile breaking through her earlier uncertainty. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden hue over the lake, a sense of calm enveloped the bridge. The world felt quieter, as if even time itself had slowed down to allow for reflection. "Sometimes we just need to find a moment," Oliver said, his voice blending with the sounds of nature. "A moment where we can breathe and let go of our burdens." Elena let his words sink in, feeling a newfound resolve within her. Perhaps she could find ways to embrace the stillness, to reconnect with herself and the world around her. As they stood together on the bridge, the last rays of sunlight danced upon the water, creating a shimmering path that seemed to lead into the unknown. In that moment, she felt a sense of possibility, an opening to the journey ahead. Before they parted ways for the evening, Oliver turned to her. "If you ever need a reminder of this place, or just someone to share the silence with, I'll be here," he offered, his voice soothing and sincere. "Thank you, Oliver. I truly appreciate that," Elena replied, her heart lighter as she prepared to leave. As she stepped off the bridge, she turned back to glance at the enchanting landscape one last time. The lake, the trees, the bridge, all would remain, waiting patiently for her return. In the distance, the first stars began to twinkle against the deepening twilight, a reminder that even in darkness there is beauty to be found. As you listen to this story, take a moment to breathe, to feel the weight of your own worries slip away, just as Elena began to discover her path to peace. If you find joy in these gentle tales, consider subscribing to this channel, where stories like this will continue to guide you towards tranquility and restful nights. Now, let your thoughts drift away, and let the night carry you to gentle dreams. As the sun began its slow descent behind the horizon, the sky transformed into a canvas of swirling oranges and soft pinks, reflecting upon the glass-like surface of the lake. The bridge, stoic yet inviting, stood in the midst of this picturesque scene, its wooden planks creaking gently under the weight of Elena's thoughts. She had come here seeking solace, yet the turmoil within her heart felt insurmountable. Elena leaned against the railing, her gaze fixed on the water, which rippled softly like a whisper, as if trying to soothe her inner storm. The memories of her grandmother lingered like a tender echo, wrapping around her heart with both comfort and longing. "In stillness you will find your strength," she recalled, the words dancing like fireflies in the twilight. Yet, as she stood there, the weight of responsibilities and expectations seemed to drown out that gentle wisdom. Closing her eyes, she inhaled deeply, the sense of damp earth and blooming wildflowers filling her lungs. Each breath seemed to carry away a fragment of her anxiety, yet it always returned, heavier each time. The world beyond the bridge felt like a relentless tide, pulling her away from this moment of peace. As her phone buzzed insistently in her pocket, she felt a rush of frustration. The noise of life encroached upon this sacred space. "Why can't I just let go?" she murmured to herself, her voice barely above a whisper. The lake mirrored her turmoil, its once tranquil surface now disturbed by the winds of her thoughts. Just as she began to feel the weight of despair creeping back in, she heard a soft voice behind her. "Elena?" It was Oliver, his presence like a gentle balm to her frayed nerves. He stepped closer, his eyes reflecting the hues of the sunset, warm and inviting. "You look lost in thought." She turned to him, the corners of her mouth lifting faintly. "Just trying to find some peace," she admitted, her voice trembling slightly. "But it feels so elusive today." Oliver moved beside her, resting his arms on the railing, his gaze following hers to the lake. "Sometimes the hardest part is allowing ourselves to be still," he replied, his tone soothing. "What do you see when you look out there?" Elena hesitated, feeling the weight of his question. "I see a world that feels so distant from me. It's beautiful, but I can't seem to connect with it, or with myself." She felt the tears prick at her eyes, frustration boiling beneath the surface. "Everything feels overwhelming sometimes," he said gently. "But remember, nature is patient. It doesn't rush, and neither should you. Just breathe." He paused, letting his words sink in, the air around them thick with unspoken emotions. Elena took a slow, deliberate breath, trying to focus on the calming rhythm of the lake. The world around her faded, and for a fleeting moment she felt a flicker of hope. But, as quickly as it came, self-doubt rushed back in, battering at her heart like waves against the shore. "What if I can't find that peace?" she whispered, her voice cracking. Oliver turned to her, his expression serious yet kind. "You will. Just give yourself the grace to feel and to let go. It's okay to not have everything figured out." His sincerity enveloped her like a warm embrace, and she felt an urge to trust him, to believe in his words. Yet, as the sun dipped lower, casting long shadows across the lake, a feeling of despair settled in her chest. The reality of her obligations loomed large, the emails waiting, the tasks undone. "I have so much to do, and I feel like I'm standing still while the world keeps moving," she confessed, her voice trembling. "Maybe it's time to redefine what movement means," he suggested softly. "Sometimes, standing still is the bravest thing we can do." His words hung in the air, a gentle reminder that stillness could be powerful. At that moment, as the last rays of sunlight kissed the horizon, Elena felt a flicker of something deep within her. It was an awakening, a realization that her worries were not chains binding her, but rather clouds passing through the vast sky of her mind. What if What if I allowed myself to just be? She pondered aloud. Just then, a sudden gust of wind rushed through the trees, rustling the leaves and sending a shiver down her spine. It was as though nature itself was encouraging her to release her burdens. She closed her eyes again, focusing on the sound of the wind, the gentle lapping of the water, and the distant call of a nightingale settling in for the evening. In that instant, the world around her softened. The weight of her responsibilities began to lighten, and she felt a tear slip down her cheek, not from sorrow, but from a profound sense of release. "I think I understand," she whispered, her heart swelling with a newfound clarity. But just as she felt the first glimmer of peace, a shadow crossed the bridge, darkening her moment of revelation. Elena turned, startled to see a figure emerging from the trees, an old man with a weathered face, his eyes sharp and penetrating. He approached slowly, his movements deliberate, as if each step was imbued with purpose. "Excuse me," he said, his voice gravelly yet calm. "I couldn't help but overhear your conversation." There was an intensity to his gaze that made Elena's pulse quicken. "You seek peace, yet a world you fear is the one you must confront." Elena exchanged a glance with Oliver, who stepped in front of her protectively. "What do you mean?" he asked, his tone firm yet curious. The old man's lips curved into a knowing smile. "Peace isn't found by escaping your responsibilities, it's found by embracing them. You, my dear, are caught in a web of your own making." His words were sharp, yet carried an undercurrent of compassion. Elena felt the blood drain from her face as the truth of his statement resonated deep within her. "What do you know about me?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper, a mix of fear and intrigue coursing through her. "I know that you're afraid to let go of the past and the expectations that weigh upon you," he replied, his gaze unwavering. "But the bridge you stand on, it's not just a passage over water. It's a bridge to understanding your own heart." Oliver stepped forward, the protective barrier between Elena and the stranger dissolving. "How do you know this?" he questioned, his voice steady. The old man chuckled softly, a sound like dried leaves rustling in the wind. "I've seen many souls wander through this town, searching for something they already possess." The bridge reveals truths hidden in the depths of your heart. You must ask yourself, what do you truly want? Elena felt the weight of his words settling over her, forcing her to confront the very fears she had been avoiding. "I want to find peace," she said, her voice trembling. "I want to learn how to live without feeling so lost." "Then step onto the bridge," he urged, pointing to the wooden planks that stretched out before her. "Let go of your fears and embrace the unknown. Only then will you find the strength you seek." As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting the world into twilight, Elena felt a surge of courage. She stepped forward, her heart racing, and placed one foot onto the bridge. The old man watched her intently, as if he could see the battle raging within her. "I don't know if I can," she admitted, her voice quaking. "Of course you can," Oliver said, stepping beside her, offering his unwavering support. "You're not alone in this." With each deliberate breath, Elena let the tension in her body begin to dissolve. She stepped further onto the bridge, feeling the wood creak beneath her weight. The lake below shimmered like glass, reflecting the first stars that twinkled into existence above. And then, as if the universe itself conspired to grant her clarity, a memory flooded her mind. She was a child again, standing on the very same bridge, hand in hand with her grandmother. They had laughed, tossed pebbles into the water, and marveled at the beauty of the world around them. "In stillness, you will find your strength," her grandmother's voice echoed in her heart. With that memory came a rush of warmth, as if her grandmother was right there beside her, guiding her through the storm. "I can do this," Elena whispered, feeling the weight of her worries begin to lift. But at that moment, the wind howled fiercely, and the bridge seemed to tremble beneath her feet. The old man's expression shifted, and he took a step back. "You must face your fears, not run from them," he urged, his voice rising above the gusts. Elena's heart raced as the reality of her life crashed over her like a wave. The responsibilities, the expectations, the fear of failure, it all loomed over her, threatening to pull her under. Yet she felt Oliver's presence beside her, steady and unwavering. "You're stronger than you think," he whispered, his voice a lifeline in the tempest. Taking a deep breath, Elena closed her eyes and focused on the stillness within her. She felt the ground beneath her feet, the cool breeze on her skin, and the heartbeat of the earth beneath her. With each breath, she summoned the courage she had long thought lost. "I choose to embrace my journey," she declared, her voice steady and clear. "I won't let fear define me." In that moment, the wind calmed, and the world around her transformed. The bridge felt strong and solid beneath her, a steadfast reminder that she was not alone. The old man nodded in approval, a knowing smile gracing his lips. As she opened her eyes, she saw the beauty of the lake reflected in Oliver's gaze. "You did it," he said softly, pride evident in his voice. "You found your strength." And in that realization, Elena felt a profound sense of peace wash over her, a gentle tide that enveloped her heart and soul. The burdens she had carried for so long began to fade, replaced by the warmth of acceptance and understanding. The old man turned to leave, his silhouette merging with the shadows of the evening. "Remember, the bridge is always here," he called back, his voice fading into the night. "Embrace the stillness, and you will always find your way." As the stars twinkled above, Elena stood on the bridge, a sense of calm settling within her. The lake shimmered beneath the moonlight, and she realized that she had taken the first step toward her own journey of peace. She turned to Oliver, her heart brimming with gratitude. "Thank you for being here," she said, her voice filled with warmth. "Always," he replied, a gentle smile gracing his lips. "And remember, you are never truly lost. Just like the bridge, you have the power to connect the pieces of your heart." As they stood together, the world around them felt alive with possibilities, and Elena knew that she could face whatever came her way. The bridge had become a symbol of her journey, a reminder that within the stillness, she had discovered her strength. Now, as the night deepened, she took a deep breath, feeling the cool air fill her lungs. "Let's go home," she said softly, ready to embrace the journey ahead, one moment at a time. With the moonlight guiding their path, Elena and Oliver walked hand in hand, leaving the bridge behind but carrying its lessons within their hearts. The stars shone brightly above, a blanket of dreams waiting to be realized. And as the night wrapped its arms around them, Elena felt a sense of peace enveloping her, a gentle reminder that even in the darkest of times, light could always be found. Now, let your thoughts drift away, and let the night carry you to gentle dreams. As the days grew longer, and the sun painted the sky with softer hues, Elena found herself returning to the bridge with increasing frequency. Each visit was a cherished moment, a gentle ritual that calmed her spirit and reminded her of the beauty surrounding her. The worries that once clouded her mind began to dissipate like morning mist, leaving behind a clarity she had almost forgotten existed. Oliver, often found with his easel propped against the sturdy railing of the bridge, became a familiar presence in her tranquil haven. He was a steady force, his laughter light and warm, echoing over the soft sounds of the lake. With each brushstroke, he captured the essence of Eldergrove, The way the sunlight danced on the water's surface, how the trees swayed to the rhythm of the wind, and the delicate wildflowers that framed the path to the bridge. Their conversations, flowing like the gentle current beneath them, always circled back to the wonders of the natural world. One evening, as twilight wrapped the landscape in a silken embrace, Elena stood beside Oliver, watching the sun dip below the horizon. The sky transformed into a canvas of purples and deep blues, and the first stars began to twinkle like distant lanterns. In that moment, the world felt expansive yet intimate, and she inhaled deeply, the floral scents swirling around her like a comforting blanket. "Isn't it beautiful?" she breathed, her voice barely above a whisper, as if speaking too loudly would shatter the serenity of the moment. Oliver nodded, his eyes reflecting the shimmering lake. "It is, but the real beauty lies in how we choose to see it. Each brushstroke is an invitation to pause, to breathe, and to allow ourselves to feel." Elena turned to him, her heart swelling with gratitude. Oliver had a gift for seeing the world through a lens of possibility. His words resonated within her, striking a chord she hadn't felt in years. "I've been thinking about that lately. I want to paint again, to express what I see." "Then do it," he encouraged, his smile warm and genuine. "Let the colors flow as freely as the water beneath us." With a spark igniting her spirit, Elena promised herself to embrace her creativity once more. The bridge, once a mere passage over the water, had transformed into a sanctuary of reflection and inspiration. She envisioned herself standing there, brush in hand, capturing the delicate interplay of light and shadow, the whisper of the wind, and the gentle lapping of the lake. As the evenings turned to nights, Elena found solace in the rhythm of her routine. Each visit to the bridge became a cherished escape, a moment to reflect on her journey, and a chance to connect not only with nature, but with herself. The burdens of her day-to-day life began to feel lighter, overshadowed by the beauty and peace that enveloped her. Weeks later, beneath the soft glow of the moon, Elena stood once more on the bridge, the cool breeze dancing through her hair. This time, however, she wasn't alone. A canvas propped against the railing captured the colors of the sunset, shades of orange and pink blending seamlessly into the tranquil blue of the lake. She had painted with abandon, her emotions flowing freely, and the joy of creation filled her heart. Standing beside her, Oliver admired her work. "You've captured the essence of this place beautifully," he said, his voice filled with admiration. "It reflects not just the landscape, but the journey you've taken." Elena felt a warmth spread through her, a sense of accomplishment and peace. She had found a way to express her innermost thoughts and feelings, and the bridge had become a symbol of her transformation. No longer just a crossing over water, it was now a bridge to her true self, a path to the quiet strength she had discovered within. As the moon rose high in the sky, casting silver light upon the lake, Elena turned to Oliver with a smile. "Thank you for encouraging me to find my voice again. This place has become my refuge, and I've realized that it's okay to pause and embrace the stillness." "Life's beauty is in those moments of quiet," he replied gently. "It's where we find ourselves." With those words resonating in her heart, Elena closed her eyes, the soft sounds of nature wrapping around her like a cherished memory. The chirping of crickets and the rustle of leaves formed a comforting melody, inviting her to drift into a state of tranquil relaxation. The worries that had once consumed her had been replaced with a profound sense of gratitude for the present moment. In that serene space, she understood that life would always have its complexities, but she possessed the power to choose how to navigate them. The bridge had taught her the importance of balance, of weaving moments of reflection into her busy life, and of embracing the beauty that lay in stillness. As the night deepened, Elena felt the gentle pull of the universe, urging her to surrender to the calm. She took a deep breath, letting the peace of the lake and the warmth of the moonlight wash over her. The bridge, her bridge had become a sacred space of connection to nature, to art, and most importantly, to herself. And as she stood there, enveloped in the serene embrace of the night, Elena whispered her silent promise to return to this place whenever the world felt overwhelming. She would always find her way back to the bridge, where the lake's stillness would remind her to breathe, to reflect, and to dream. Now, as you close your eyes and allow the soft sounds of nature to cradle you, remember that it is in the stillness where your strength lies. Embrace the calm, let go of your worries, and drift into gentle dreams. Now, let your thoughts drift away, and let the night carry you to gentle dreams.